say something. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bourbon Turntable and Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and Happy Holidays, Kwanzaa, whatever your deal is. Welcome. We've got a bit of a different setup here tonight. I've got Ben and Drew. We're all together in the same place, unfortunately.
Sure about that?
I'm pretty sure. Yes, he is here. I'll kick him under the table. We're going to have a fun time tonight, kind of kicking 2021 out of here and looking forward with great hope to 2022. We've got Patrick and Mike here as well. So we've got Bourbon Turntable with My Whiskey Den, two great things that go great together. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
That's a good description for tonight.
Yeah.
All right. So, welcome. Glad you're here. If you're online, share this, like this, do all this good stuff. Mike, tell them what they're supposed to do.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Don't forget to comment if you're watching live in the chat. Leave a comment down below afterwards. Always remember that thumbs up.
Ooh, and free the West Memphis free. Let's get it on.
Okay, I'm going to record. I'm going to snip that out of the show, and I'm going to have you doing that for our show every single time.
He's the best man in YouTube doing that.
Oh, man. Okay, so
I have one job.
So I don't know that anybody necessarily needs an introduction, but Patrick, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people. And we're talking about two great things that go good together. Tell me something, two great things that go great together. What would you say?
Ooh. Well, the simple one is peanut butter and chocolate. I mean, that right off the bat, there's candy bars, there's Reese's. That hits home. Peanut butter balls, just because of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go above it. I'm going caramel and chocolate. That's
Caramel and chocolate.
Caramel and chocolate.
All right.
Plus, you get a lot of those notes in some whiskey as well. So I find it fun to play in that realm. But I'm part of My Whiskey Den with Wonder Mike down there and Ben, who doesn't have a name over there. We'll call him Benji, a little lost dog. He travels between shows. What
other realms do you like to play in, Patrick?
Nope. We are focusing on craft whiskey like we do on our show.
Right.
And
Music and whiskey.
And whiskey.
Peanut butter balls.
Peanut butter balls. Sorry, chocolate covered peanut butter balls. They're fantastic. Graham crackers with Rice Krispies as a mix. It was a family recipe. It was opposite sides. Each had a little combo there. It is fantastic. All right, I'm going to shut up because I am the rambler.
He is the rambler. Yes, he is. All right, Mike.
Well, Pat,
what you do.
I'm Mike Leesig, part of My Whiskey Den on the YouTubes with Benjamin and Patrick. Pat kind of took one of mine. I was just going to say Reese's and freezers because frozen Reese's are the bomb. But I will say totally different from that. Pizza crust and honey.
Oh, wow.
Agreed.
That's interesting.
Whoa.
Pretty cool.
Like the thin type or like the thicker type, like hand toss?
The crust around the outside edge. If you eat up to that crust and you take a little bit of honey afterwards and you put that on there, oh, yeah.
I just mean, is it like store-bought thin crust or this is like hand tossed where it's thicker?
Doesn't matter.
Pizza's
pizza.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Sorry, I mean to take over the show, but I needed the question answered.
There we go.
That's on you for putting that up.
In the house. Welcome, Alan. All right. What about you, Ben? Anything? Two great things go great together?
Well, like pineapple and pizza. let's just stir up some controversy right from the start here. No, for me, I love the combinations of like salty and sweet things.
Mhm.
So like, Mike, you brought up honey, like blue cheese and Tupelo honey,
Mm.
things along that line. That salty and savory and sweet combination. Spread some jam on some country ham and just go to town. That
Oh.
that kind of thing. That's what I'm all about.
Okay. How about you, Drew?
Man. I'll go with something I just enjoyed a couple days ago at Christmas. I'm gonna go seafood and garlic lemon butter. We did a little
Nice.
seafood boil for Christmas this year. It was pretty special. It was delightful. Highly recommend lobster, crayfish, crab legs, anything you can do seafood wise with garlic and lemon butter.
Yeah.
Damn, son, now you make me hungry.
I know.
Yeah. I was like, that could be a Christmas tradition. I could see that stirring up, and if not, like Christmas Eve.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Cal Naughton Jr. in Talladega Nights, his was peanut butter and ladies. So who are we to argue with a fake NASCAR champion? But
I thought you were going to talk about the spread you did in Playgirl magazine for a second there.
I don't know. I didn't think he was going to
Kevin Honcho.
that was very discreetly done and very tasteful, artistic.
Yeah, it paid for
How do you know?
part of the Bushwood Estates.
Literally. Okay. Hey, this show, we do talk about two great things that go great together. We talk about the love of music and the love of whiskey. So we've got Pat and Mike on with us just to have some fun. Again, as we're ringing in the new year, or getting close to it. But we're going to talk about some whiskey and some music tonight as well, and probably some other nonsense.
A lot of nonsense.
A lot of nonsense, let's be honest. So what I asked each of the guys to do is to have a pour of something that was a new whiskey to them in 2021. Mike, let's start with you. What do you have, sir?
Well, whoa! I just dropped something.
Oh
I just
my
dropped
God,
two
it's
things.
the Iron Root episode all over.
It's
Mass
no,
hysteria. Mass
no,
hysteria.
no. That is never happening again. Yeah, so something that was new to me, and I don't know if this gives you a little hint, is the glass that I'm enjoying it out of.
Yeah.
But something that was new to me for 2021 was this quaint little distillery called Glens Creek. And this OCD number 5 has turned into be quite a favorite for me this year. I like sharing it with people and seeing their reaction and then telling them what it is.
Mhm.
And it's been very enjoyable, and I've turned into quite a fan of their offerings.
That was a good time.
It was a real good time.
First visit there, and I was going to pick Glens Creek, but I really thought that you were, so I didn't. But I'm glad that you did, because I know how much you enjoy it. So
Yeah.
What's up,
Great.
Fred?
Great historic location too. Right there in the old
Yes.
Pepper Taylor Crow
yeah,
holy trinity of distilleries out there in Woodford County.
and you've got to know how to get there because the GPS
Yes.
will take you there, and when the roads is closed.
Go to the Cracker Barrel, and then you just keep going.
Yeah. I think you have to cross a rope bridge and answer a riddle.
That was after.
Patrick, what about you, bud?
Something that was new to me that I didn't have last year, that I, looking over kind of questions and format a little bit earlier, something that was new to me experience as well too. I went with what I have left of this little Three Boys. For all sorts of fun reasons, mainly because it was new to me. I got to meet Hunter. I got to see what was going on. We barely made the tour on time. I mean, Christy had to come barreling in on tearing up the road to get there, dust flying. Hunter had to kick out some, I don't know, was it a bachelor party?
Bachelor party,
Had
yeah.
to kick
There's
out a
a bachelor
bachelor party that was running long, but it was fantastic when we were in there. The time we had there was was great. The access, the honesty. Hold on. I need to
Uh-oh.
check on what. I'll be right back in a second. Hold on.
It's not even Friday.
So, Mike, I really like your pick with the Glens Creek. I mean, that first experience there was incredible. Got to go back since, and it's amazing every time. And pretty much it's become, if anybody, and I've had a number of people since being here in Kentucky like ask me, hey, what distillery should I go see? Glens Creek is my number one distillery to go to. I've had a couple of people that I work with now that have gone since I've gotten there, and they've come back just glowing about it. Like, man, that is amazing. You know, grew up here in Kentucky, never heard about it, never knew it, and then you sent me there. Now it's amazing. So yeah, anybody watching, you haven't checked out Glens Creek and you had the opportunity to do, that's absolutely a great place to go. And same with Patrick's selection with Three Boys there.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm back now. Sorry, there was a lot of yelling and then the door opening and closing.
Yeah.
And
everybody okay?
Everything's fine.
Okay.
Everything's fine.
All right.
Of course.
You don't want any blood on the new carpet at the house.
No.
At the new house.
Fine.
That wipes off. It's okay. Getting back to Three Boys, just the layout of the land there, it actually being a farm, and it's really neat to be actually go out to that area, to have it be like an old barn that looks like it'd be cold in winter, a little bit. They had a nice setup, how they were honest about going from like the cypress to getting it, putting metal on the inside so that it was way easier to clean just because of the time process, how they were looking to move up. The experience of being able to taste from 4 or 5 different barrels when you're there and being able to thief it yourself. Fantastic. The fact that Mike got to have a heart attack watching that one dude piss booze all over the floor and the edge of the barrel. It was a whole different experience, but there's a couple.
Okay. Mike is. I was taking this picture, and Mike moved out of the camera shot at the moment I snapped it. But you can see. Look at that barrel. Look at how much whiskey this guy has spilled all over that barrel. And
to be fair, it was not that guy right there. The bad guy in this story had moved on. And this, so everyone here is left to look at his mess. Yeah.
You know what I love, Kevin, is the fact that you had like a hair trigger on this picture to just pull that right up. And you've just been waiting to bring this up for Mike.
Laying in wait. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So that'll come back later in the show. That'll come back later.
So it was one of those places that because of the area, it felt kind of zen to be out there. It felt very relaxing to be out and to be at that distillery. Plus, it was a fantastic thing. We got to meet other people. It was a really good tour. So I went with that because it was actually new to me, and when I started looking back, having ones that were new to me still left around is getting a little tough right now, or at least finding them to be accessible. Yeah. So I did have a backup just in case Mike had picked that one. So. As an emergency pick, but no, and getting to be able to put your own labels on, and watch, and who was it? Greg, watching Greg get pissed off when people would put on the wrong labels was fantastic.
That's not a rye, that's a bourbon. What are you doing?
It matters. You're not going to remember.
But Three Boys, it just flies under the radar in terms of how great the whiskey is and how wonderful the tasting experience is. To me, it's the best tasting experience of any distillery I've been around, just the way they do it, where they're thieving stuff right out of the barrel for you to try. It's not real, it's not a sanitized presentation. It's just very raw, very real, and and very delicious.
It's very relaxed. You do
Yeah.
feel like you're on a farm. They use like big picnic tables as places to sit when they're doing, like tasting and stuff. It feels like, I don't know, like 4th of July picnic.
Yeah.
Kind of that there should be fireworks out there. I'm planning their event for next year right now. Just so Hunter, if you're watching, this is what you should be doing.
Yeah, I want to do a festival out on that property.
Yes,
I think that would be fun. So we'll talk later, Hunter, if you're watching. Drew, what do you have, sir?
All right. This one's for my boy Alan. And this one was new for me. Kevin introduced this to me January or February, early on in this year, but got the lead, W. Sinclair. Bought on the bond. Could not find an iconoclast this week in my hunting. All the ones that I've owned, I've killed. So enjoying that one in particular this year from our friend Alan over at French Lick. Despite maybe all the hype, there's every season in whiskey there's one thing that gets overhyped. This cannot be overhyped. What Alan's doing and all of the just respect that he has for the process, for the grains. You can tell the intention behind every single one of the expressions coming out of the Spirits of French Lick. I've had some great memories over the course of this year with Matty Gladden, some other great memories with the Sinclair. So highly recommend this one. It's new to me, but it shouldn't be to you. If you get a chance to pick up a bottle of this, absolutely do it. Huge fan of everything going on over there.
I would agree with everything you said, but it's kind of a D-bag move when you release these special things that you can't get here. He sends stuff down to Mississippi, sends stuff out to Texas, and we can't get it here. So
Yeah, Alan.
Oh.
You guys from everybody's remark tonight.
Ooh, the wrench is in. Let's see her sneak in. And I'll let you guys go through yours, but I saw something Fred said a minute ago. I'm going to bring that up later.
All right. Ben, what you got, bud?
No, there's been so much good whiskey, so many good new distilleries. Not saying this is a favorite or anything, but this was kind of new to me this year that I've enjoyed. Smoke Wagon. Actually not even distilling, they're sourcing and aging out there, but what the product they're coming out with is really damn tasty, and enjoy that. So
nice.
Nevada
Smoke Wagon. Yeah. Mine is from our friends at Ranger Creek. This is their rye finished in a cider barrel. And I believe Mike brought this to me back in April. And I got to try something else that they've got coming out next year that Ben had a advanced sample of, and it was absolutely delicious. So I'm looking forward to seeing what all Ranger Creek is going on in the future, and trying to get my hands on some of that stuff as it comes out. So
I think as long as Josh is at the helm there, there's always going to be some really incredible, cool stuff going on, because he's just got a great mind, very creative, just a really good distiller, and good instinct of what he's doing. And some of the things I've seen that he's had in the works that I got to taste while I was down there this year. Yeah, there's a lot to be excited about with Ranger Creek. So,
yeah. Hey, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
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 All right. So, when we do our show, side A, we were talking about whiskey. We're going to wrap up side A of the show, flip it over to side B. We're going to talk about some music stuff and other things. But what we want to talk about a little bit now is making sure you have a safe new year. Okay. So tips for a safe and merry new year. Okay. Merry New Year. Okay. Don't get off our show.
I thought we were all supposed to do that.
All right. Carl Limo. Okay. okay, if you're rolling in big bucks, you got some of that Green Bay Packer ownership money, like Patrick probably does. Hire a limo. That'll get you where you need to go safe. Call Uber or Lyft or one of the sketchier ride share companies.
No, don't get those. Don't get those.
Like the voice of experience, or someplace that Patrick's putting an application. Call a cab. Go really old school, or go super old school. Have a designated driver. Now I'll say this: my wife doesn't drink, or very rarely does she drink. So she's the ultimate designated driver whenever we go out. It's always fun to have her around, but it's great to have her as a designated driver too. Or you could just stay home. Okay. Everybody's crazy. Everybody's nuts. You're going to spend way too much money. Stay home, watch Trading Places, and have a very merry New Year. So, but one other thing that I want to talk about during our little commercial break is our buddy Drew.
Hey.
Buddy Drew, he has his EP releasing on January 15th. It's called Tower Songs. And Drew, tell him what's going on.
Yep. So the album will be out on midnight on January the 15th. Really, really excited to share these songs with you guys. If you haven't gotten a chance to so far, go check out the single. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, wherever you listen to music. But we are getting to do something really special, and that's an album release show. So we'll be over at the Alcove in Jeffersonville, Indiana, right across the bridge from Louisville. So if you're local, please come out to that. We've got a great bourbon bar, beer bar, and food truck involved in that night. Got some good buddies of mine coming to play on that show. And we're just going to have a good time. Whole night full of drinking and music and all kinds of good stuff. But excited to get to play the whole project front to back with everybody and just kind of celebrate the culmination of that project. So if you're around, come on by. We'd love to have you. I'll be putting out a Facebook event later in the week. It'll be on my Instagram. Follow along with all that. And excited to get to share this project. Yeah.
So if you're in the area, let's pack the house. It'll be a great time.
Yeah.
Saturday night, January 15th. So, all right.
Congratulations, Drew.
Thank you.
So let's kind of segue over to talking a little bit about music. One of the questions that we ask most of our guests, what was your first concert? So, Mike, what was your first concert?
Wow. That's a good question. Honestly, I think that this might not be it, but the first one that I remember going to was Oak Ridge Boys.
There you go.
There.
And Roseanne Cash opened up. Ooh. And they seemed to come around Des Moines a lot because it was, I know I saw them. I got drugged there with my parents, but I know I saw them like probably 4 times. First time I remember it was Roseanne Cash opening up. The second time I think was a little man that nobody knew about named Lee Greenwood. And yeah.
USA.
Yeah, well, yeah. And I don't remember who. I think there was a comedian another time and whatever. But yeah, Oak Ridge Boys was the first big one that I remember going. But that's yeah. I'd say that's my earliest memory of concert.
So do you know all the words to Elvira?
Unfortunately, I think I still do.
Okay. And next time you're in town, we're doing karaoke. Okay.
Yeah.
Karaoke.
Oh wow.
I can tell you,
well,
parents can confirm this. When I was 5 years old and we were living in Texas, that was my favorite song. Elvira. Loved it.
It was, it's still catchy and everything, but there was, the guys. I only know one name of an Oak Ridge Boy guy to this day, and it's William Lee Golden, the guy with the frontiersman outfit, and he sang the "Thank God for Kids" song, which was, the one that made all the ladies in the audience cry. But yeah, no, it was. I mean, it was fine. I mean, look back, it was a fond memory. I do remember really enjoying Roseanne Cash. Because she was, she can write a song. She got some good blood in her.
So Renita says hers was Reba, Alabama, or George Strait at SeaWorld in San Antonio. All right. I guess if you don't have Dollywood, you got to go sing at SeaWorld. Those are three very strong ones. Your first was Alabama. Was that right? Was that?
Yeah, Alabama, Clint Black, and Lori Morgan.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then Mr. Bishop.
You got to pick one though. You can't throw four out there. What was your first?
Okay, were they all four playing together?
Yeah, that's a lineup right there.
Yeah.
It could have been a festival.
Could have been.
Okay, then I retract my statement. But he has to say
Sounds like Ozfest or something.
Okay, Jolie is now giving us the most wormhole lyrics in country music anyway. The bop, 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 mow mow. Thanks for that, Jolie. How about you, Patrick? What was your first concert?
The first one I went to was with we went to see the Bodines, and that's when the Friends theme song was very popular. I was at a county fair. I think there was a tractor pull before it.
You can't go wrong with a tractor pull.
Yeah.
It's like in Spinal Tap when they're playing some amusement park, and it was a puppet show. But Puppet Show got the headliner over Spinal Tap. Okay, now Dave, come on, man, Rush.
No, he's just bragging.
Nah,
he's lying.
He's lying.
He's lying. Everything with Dave is Cheap Trick anyway, because the Cheap Trick is from his hometown, if I remember that correctly.
You smell the and cheese.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty awesome. I'm not a big Fleetwood Mac fan.
Oh, I am.
I'd see that. Yeah.
Did you see the Wendy Williams and the Plasmatics up there? I'm just trying to remember a couple other ones flying past here.
Here we go, Fred.
Wow.
Now,
and
my question is, Fred, do you still have any pictures, either of the show or of yourself when you were the age going to the show? Because that's something else right there.
Do you have the mental scars of Wendy Williams doing things on the stage?
That's awesome.
I was going to say the next one that I think the first one I wanted to go to was a Green Day concert that I went to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very cool.
I just lost all kinds of respect.
Hey man, you're asking me about the progression of things and what came around, and
everybody liked Blanton's at some point in their life.
Yeah, it was a Blink Green Day concert, and at that time, I mean, I wasn't gonna miss that. Sorry.
You're speaking my love language, Patrick.
Okay. No pick. Best leather bra.
Romance is in the air.
Yeah. I'm hoping he's talking about Wendy.
Okay. Billy Joel is Jolie.
Oh, that's a show.
Yeah. I won't ask what year, Jolie. All right. So, other question. What was your first album? Mike, what was your first album you remember getting?
The first album that I remember getting, remember getting it for Christmas was Kiss Rock and Roll Over.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Played the crap out of it too.
All right.
Okay. How about you, Patrick?
I have 3 because they all came from Columbia Records on the same day.
3 albums for 99. 3 albums for a penny or something. Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and then you got hooked. You had to jump ship with inside of like 9 days or something.
And you probably still owe for.
If they hadn't gone belly up,
yeah.
There's like a small section of a crate in Vietnam that I owe for of old CDs. But on that one, it was Dookie, Green Day, the Lion King soundtrack, and Johnny Cash. Were the three that arrived that day. So
Beamed yourself on that last one.
yeah, I don't know what to tell you about
Pretty
the
good,
Lion King, but that was in there. I'm being honest. It's just
Wait, it was the Lion King and
Green Day,
Green
Dookie,
Day, their first album.
right.
and Johnny Cash.
Okay.
Little
Right.
Mermaid.
Ooh, Renita, I'm intrigued there.
Oh wow, cassettes.
George Jones, Johnny
Yes.
Paycheck.
Hard to go wrong there.
There you go.
That's
Hey,
great.
Can I plug something that's not involved?
Plug
with our
whatever
show?
you want.
Yeah, if you guys haven't listened right now, there's a great little history podcast called Cocaine and Rhinestones. It's by Tyler May and Co. It's David Allen Co.'s son, but he's doing season 2 right now. It's all about the life of George Jones and Tammy Wynette.
Oh, gee.
And so if you're into liner notes and who played on what and the stories behind the songs, if you're into country music at all, that one's fantastic. All right.
Sweet. Yeah,
Nothing to do with anything we're
No,
talking
that's
about so
all right.
far.
That's what
It's
I saw.
music,
Eli's first concert was Rise Against in Atlanta. I am fucking jealous. Like the punk ska me just wants to push someone. I want to flip table over right now.
Do it.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of money involved in this table.
Yeah. So what are you listening to now? What are the things that kind of push your buttons now?
Okay. Well, I was gonna say things
Wait,
that
let me interrupt you for just 1 second.
Yeah.
This is breaking news. Madonna Like a Virgin. Jolie's first cassette.
I am not surprised.
no, me either.
That's
Nope.
yeah. I remember that.
No, Alan's comment up above that adds Lion King to list of potential covers. No, Alan.
The
I
circle
veto that.
of life.
Can you feel the love today?
Depends
It's not
upon
Friday
which
night,
song.
So what are the things that you listen to now that or what whether it's new music or things that you keep going back to? What's kind of like your musical home base?
Oh, see, I had a few different things here to talk about. Now, how about stuff that popped up this year? A lot of things usually are old and have been out for me because I don't keep up on it as much, and the genres are fucking huge now. Sorry, we're 30 minutes in. I can swear, right?
Yeah,
Is that
nice
legal?
clock is over.
Okay, I didn't know if I could swear or not. That's all.
Are we demonetized yet?
Yeah.
You do you.
So things that popped up this year that I didn't out of left field that I liked was the Interrupters. A lot of it is, I don't know, it's like just a punk band, but I like kind of the anthems they have, and that's probably what it is. And it's not overall like overly in depth, but they're fun, and I would like to see them. And I don't know, I don't know. Some things just hit the vein, and I heard like 5 or 6 of them. And, you know what? I could probably go to a show and enjoy myself. And that doesn't always happen with a band. And for some reason, Jurassic 5 started reaching back. I hadn't really paid attention before, and started listening to a few songs. So that hit me. Bands in general, I didn't mention. Lagwagon, obviously the shirt. I like the shows. I love to go to them. And then the other thing, and I'll let Mike talk, is I usually think of music. I like to go to concerts and moments and have like that memorable experience. It's almost as good as like a band is going there and you're like, the moment was.
Mhm.
So I have a few of those that pop up, but you can go, Mike. What things are you listening to now?
There's a lot of old stuff that'll come back, and I'll just start getting down a rabbit hole, which is really, really easy to do with things like Spotify and YouTube. When you're working at work and you can set up a playlist, And I was looking back through the stuff that I had listened to, and I was surprised. Wasn't surprised how much Soundgarden that I'd listened to this year, at least through Spotify. But there's some it's like I kind of forget how good sometimes Stevie Ray Vaughan is, even though I was a big Stevie Ray Vaughan fan.
Mhm.
But I just won't listen to it for a while, and then all of a sudden I'll listen to a bit of it, and I'm just like, damn it, I'm going down this hole. And then I started in with Stevie Ray and started getting into Buddy Guy and getting into Albert King and Jeff Healey and some of those. Listen to a lot of Allman Brothers, and some new stuff that I listen to though. I get a lot of it from, like Kevin will share a playlist, or my son will be listening to something, and then I'll be like, what is that? And he got me listening to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, which is so much freaking fun. It is so much fun. And then they did a concert that was I don't know why, if it was his anti-piracy, but they said you have 8 hours to watch this concert, and that's it, and it'll never be available anywhere. And so I sat down there and watched him, and it was a culmination of a European tour. But the ending of it, I mean, I was I was watching like a little kid watching Sunday morning cartoons. I'm just like, I could not get away from it. The music was so good, so much fun, and I had an absolute blast. And I love getting into that, listening to some of that other music too, just because it's, I don't know, you get into habits, I think, with a lot of things. And there's nothing wrong with listening to Allman Brothers or Stevie Ray Vaughan or Soundgarden, but it's really nice to get kind of slapped around by some music, kind of like getting slapped around by a whiskey. It's good times.
Or again,
Or
That's choked.
so, what is, because you named a band that kind of falls into this category for me. What is your whiskey drinking music? Like for me, when the weather allows, especially, I'll sit out on the deck and I'll have some music playing and just be sipping on something. But there's some music that's better drinking music than others. And so you mentioned the Allman Brothers, Mike. Allman Brothers,
Yeah.
are those for me. So what would you guys say? Ben, you have anything that's a go-to for you?
go-to drinking music. I'm going to go down. Damn it, Alan. Hang on. You get that random text from Alan that's totally throws you off. Let's see, drinking. I don't know, man. I kind of get all over the place with that kind of thing. So if there's like a go-to, God, it's going to be slapping on some old blues like Muddy Waters or something like that. I'll kind of get down the Rolling Stones rabbit hole a little bit with drinking music.
Like 1970s Rolling Stones. Right?
Yeah.
Exile on Main Street.
Yeah,
that kind of
maybe.
stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, stuff like that in that kind of category. A little bit of Derek Trucks,
Oh, yeah.
usually, and you can never go wrong with some Derek Trucks. But that's the kind of stuff I like to get into a little bit. Yeah, if I want to just relax and enjoy whiskey or something like that.
Drew, anything specific for you?
Yeah, it depends on what kind of drinking I'm doing. If I'm sad drinking or if I'm happy drinking. But this year it's been a lot of George Jones and a lot of Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
So, George Jones is somebody I've come to a lot of appreciation for his music over the last year and just kind of his struggles and all that kind of stuff. So I would go to that. And then anything that falls into the maybe the dirt emo category, whatever that means. But a lot of Zach Bryan, Tyler Childers, some of the newer country stuff, just depending on the mood that I'm in. So go to a lot of those guys. Yeah.
I completely agree with Adina on that. I can go through some Tom Petty and some whiskey. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much.
Now, Mike, you said in the chat, you said absinthe and Tom T. Hall.
I was kidding. No. Although maybe it's a perfect pairing. I have no idea. I have not tried that one yet, but
Hey,
But yeah, you mentioned Allman Brothers. It really, some of it depends on the like Allman Brothers. I'll listen to Ramones. Tom Petty. We listen to Tom Petty. Actually, one of my favorite ones. Fred actually mentioned it. Justin Townes Earl. I love listening to Justin Townes Earl.
Yes.
Sitting down there, and Steve Earle is so much fun. Actually, that was one of my favorite albums. Was Steve doing songs of Justin's? That was gut wrenching and awesome. But probably my two of my most fun ones to drink to are Frank Zappa and Tenacious D.
Wow. All right. That is a combination.
It's, I mean, not together, but because
Right,
you can sing along to them. But Frank Zappa, especially when you get into more of the instrumental and you get into more of the jazz stuff, man, that's like a complex whiskey. It's insane what is in his compositions, and then you throw in some funny stuff on top of it. It makes it a party.
Yeah, you bring that up. That's I spent a lot of evenings with my father-in-law. He had huge audiophile, had an eclectic taste in music that was pretty amazing, and he had these incredible sound system set up. So we'd sit over there after dinner, coffees. We'd have this pour tequila and cigar. I'd pour a scotch or whiskey or something. We'd put music. Invariably, it always went to Zappa at some point. We always got some Zappa going and just crank it up and just sit there and just let that just blast over you.
Yeah.
It's a great experience.
Yeah.
Patrick, what do you got to add to this?
What was the question? We've been going on. We kind of step side to side every now and then.
Yeah. The question was, what do you consider your favorite music to drink to?
Ooh, favorite music to drink to. It's gonna be. There's like two versions. Upbeat is more punk ska. Because I love horns. I just whatever there could be whatever music it is, if it has some horns in it, I'm probably starting to give it a listen, even if it's not good. I'm going to come back to it just because I love them. And on the other note is if it's more relaxing and stuff. I don't know. There's a few. Nope. I'm just going to stick with that. I'm going to stick with punk and ska. That's usually where I drink to. That's where I drink to where I'm going out. If I'm relaxing, there's I don't want to call it jazz, but maybe it's a little bit slower music. I don't know. I usually don't get a chance at that point. So if I'm going, I'm usually I'm upbeat and a little peppy if I'm doing something. So. Oh yeah, Red Real Big Fish. That was one. That's a concert experience I have. Some of you, Mike has met my wife. She's no taller than I am. She's shorter than I am. And when you go to a show and you're all of yay tall, when you can make it into a Hobbit movie without having to worry about casting, you stand and you have usually you get kind of close, and if you're in the back because you want a gap room to see what's going on. Well, we have a gap room. We're a little bit, I think we're in our 30s, and all of a sudden there's these two kids from like college who are like fucking 6'8", like come and stand in front of us, and we move and they did it again. And so I was like, man, I was like upset. And all of a sudden my wife starts just dancing like this, and she just throws two big elbows into each one of their kidneys and then like acts like she didn't do it. It was just like this and again, and they took off, and I'm like, that's why I love you. Sorry.
I just saw Patrick in my head dancing with himself to Kiss from a Rose. That's a mental image I didn't really need.
Yeah, that's your personal. You can picture me however you want, Alan. Just don't tell me about it.
Really mentioned one that I wanted to bring up: the White Stripes.
Yeah,
that's definitely some good stuff.
Right.
I drink a lot of times when I'm listening to White Stripes, I'll drink stuff from Stumpy Spirits, and I end up when I'm listening to Rush, I end up drinking a lot of stuff from Spirits of French Lick. That just kind of how it goes sometimes. So very cool. So let's change gears just a little bit. We talked a little bit about some new whiskeys that we all discovered this year. Do you have any specific whiskey moments during 2021 that was something that was really special? Whether it was you got to try something very unique, or it was a tour experience, or whatever the case may be. Was there a whiskey experience in 2021 that was special to you?
I mean, honestly, I'd say one of the easy ones would be when we were together in April, and just that whole whiskey weekend. The tours involved, going to Glens Creek, going to everything. The bar at Bourbon's Bistro. Everything about it. Three Boys. It was extremely memorable. It was humbling. It was awesome. The amount of time that people, and you specifically, Kevin, you and Christy, you gave up time to give to us to give us that weekend. That was, it was about people, but it was whiskey that drove it, but even, since then there's been a few others, but I'd say that was probably the biggest one. Just because it was as many things as we eliminated from the list of things to do. There's still so many things that were done, but we're like, we just physically cannot do some of these things, but what was done was perfect. The audibles that were called were perfect. Everything happened the way it was supposed to happen. And it was wonderful.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And this was one of the things that happened as well. There's Jolie, and she's there at the Lee Sinclair mausoleum with a bottle. I think that was my iconoclast bottle that she was holding. And lots of good pictures made that day.
Yeah, she was contemplating lies at that very moment.
Yeah.
Oh, Patrick, what about you, man?
Well, I'm not going to go with that one just because I feel like that's a little easy. Plus, it was already mentioned. So going outside of that trip, something new that was pretty amazing. Tonight we had Leopold Brothers on, and I got to try the Three Chambers rye. Was big because I'm a huge history nerd. Like most people watch our show, we're history, and we're just big nerds on the show. So seeing someone first search out and find a still, research it, talk his brother into financing it, bringing it back, actually running it, having it sit for 3 years and create something that is totally, wholly, uniquely different just by the design of it. It's fantastic. That and his nephews. I'm sorry, nephews. I think it was, or his cousins. Whoever studied at went to PBS to make documentaries. They made his video because they so were influenced by PBS. It was ridiculous. You watch that video and it's like, I instantaneously said this. I'm like, Todd is now the Fred Rogers of whiskey. That's what you get out of that coming. It's like, holy shit! Like we're in Fred's neighborhood now.
Instead of putting on a sweater, he puts on Carhartt overalls.
He's Carhartt overall. You see him hooking him up at the beginning of the show. So that one for me was pretty big this year. I was gonna say that one kind of took me by surprise. I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna give a nods to Josh. There was not other than maybe when we were at Glens Creek, there was not a lineup that I had that was like Josh's last year, where it was a lineup of 4 or 5, and the progression was stupendous in how it went together. Mm-hmm. I did not have something like that this year. I was gonna say. I had close to it at Glens Creek, but part of that was effed up on my having to figure things out and not land drink when everyone else was. Then I was just catching up. How many did you guys have? 6? Oh, shit, catch up. But yeah, I was gonna say that I think those two are probably the ones that outside of that stand out right now, whiskey wise for the year.
Drew, anything?
Yeah, two stand out to me. One was, I think it was late March. We sat out on your back patio right after it got warm, and we had some cigars and got to try Buzzard's Roost products for the first time, specifically the Toasted Barrel Rye, and just absolutely blown away by what 3 and 4-year-old MGP distillate could taste like under the right care, under the right hands. That was pretty special. The other one would be when you and Mark and myself were in Nashville.
Yeah.
Back in September. We went up to a couple of different distilleries and did a little bottle shopping, but just to kind of get to share the camaraderie of those days. And
That was when you were recording.
Yep.
your album.
We were up in Nashville for the recording, and just everything that was involved in that whole weekend was pretty special to me. I don't know that we had any pours that were special, but just to kind of get to say, hey, these are 2 of my best friends, and we're gonna drink some good whiskey together. That was cool. So those 2 stand out for me.
Yeah. Benjamin?
2021 has probably been just like one massive long whiskey experience for me. I mean, it really it's just been amazing experience after amazing experience. I mean, I could sit here, could easily name off, our Shockerpalooza trip here with the time with Kevin and Christy, and then going up and meeting everybody up at Allen's to kind of cap off the weekend. That was amazing. There's that time, the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, when we sat out here on your porch and we went through the tasting of all the different Glens Creek spirits we had out here, along with many others.
Yeah.
Cigars included, just a great night. There's the moment on Allen's porch. We went through about 24 different absinthe in an evening. It was pretty incredible. All of that was awesome. It's hard to kind of put, I don't know, it's hard to kind of put it all into saying which one was better. I think, I don't know, maybe if I had to name off one, it's kind of the week and a half road trip that I took going from Kentucky to Texas to Colorado and back. Sitting in with Iron Root for a day, proofing spirits and going through their whole process and tasting through barrels, meeting Shannon down at Tawakaro and tasting some barrels and seeing, their new facility going on there, spending a couple days with Josh and Renita, just touring the different Texas Hill Country, getting a personal tour from Todd out at Leopold's in Colorado, and spending time with my buddy Tim out there, touring some different small little micro distilleries. So that in and of itself was an amazing experience. So I don't know. I can't put like it's hard for me to put and say any one was better than the other necessarily. They're all just really, really amazing in their own right. So
I got it. I know what it is for him.
what?
He got a job in the industry.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
There you go. That's hard to beat right there.
That is a whiskey moment.
Right. Right.
Joey mentioned it's all about the moments, and I think that's very true. And
For the people.
right,
As much as the spirits are, it's the people that you share it with,
right,
more than anything.
the things that stand out to me are that night when we picked up Patrick at the airport and drove back here to my house and sat out on the patio. And this is middle of April, and the days were nice and warm. The nights were very cool, and so we're bundled up and still freezing, but we're sitting out there, and guys are smoking cigars, and we're drinking Buzzard Roost. And so a lot of really good memories with Buzzard Roost this year. So thanks, Jason Bronner. So that was definitely one with our Bourbon Fellowship group. Drew's part of that. Mm-hmm. We did a thing a couple months ago where it was just one bottle, A lot of times you go to the bourbon groups and it's just very obnoxious what the table looks like, and the kind of like over here in this corner that you can't see right now, but it's packed full and
Blow up Mike's screen. Blow that up to be big. You can
but we just did one bottle, and I didn't put the bottle out. I put it in a decanter, and so it's not oh wow, because it was not necessarily an ooh wow bottle, but it was just something that we're all going to drink this, and we're going to enjoy it, and we're going to talk and just have a good time together, and that was very cool. Very cool experience. And the time in Nashville with Drew and our friend Mark was certainly great. Had a chance to meet up with the Ewalds at Bourbon's Bistro one night and share some whiskey with them, and it's wonderful to have great whiskey, but who cares if you can't share it with anybody? I'll remember the first time I had Leopold Brothers 3-chamber rye. But what stands out about it was, it was the first time trying it in the whiskey experience. But the other part of it was, I was with, the people that are in this room, Ben and Drew and Christy, she's lurking over in the corner.
like she does.
She's a lurker.
As she does that too. But it is about what those experiences are and those relationships that grow out of this. And I wanted to do this show with you guys because one of the highlights of this year has been not just the whiskey that we've shared together and those experiences, but the fact that because of that, we've developed friendships over it. And that to me is the beautiful thing about whiskey is, it's great. We love to drink it, love the flavor, love finding things that are unique, but it's the people that you meet and the friendships you develop about it. That's what makes a difference.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely. Well said.
What about looking forward to 2022? We've got
I saw some in this chat tonight.
Saw somewhat in this chat tonight.
I saw Fred drop some news in this chat. Did you see that shit?
I was probably
Distill America.
Yeah, he said Distill America is May 14th. It's outside in tents.
Wait.
So it's a different day. It's not where it normally is, but it will comply with things, and I'm excited about that now. I'm marking that on the calendar. That weekend's getting tossed up.
Right. Well, I missed that in the chat. Fred, drop that into it again if you don't care, because I was ready to buy my ticket back in October.
Get some people a little revved up, but that's good. Other things for this year that I'm excited about in whiskey. I'm excited to kind of go after some people that we heard about, but haven't actually tried yet. I want to talk to Kasuba Brothers because I want to see the difference between America and Polish rye and what they're doing. Plus, a lot of their other stuff is might be up Mike's alley with some of the things that they're doing, and it might tickle your fancy. A couple whiskey trips. I want to have an event. Hell, I want to have a gathering of whiskey people. Sometime this year where everyone, I want to create moments. Let's just put it that way. I want to create some moments. But yeah, there's some whiskey trips. I'd love to go to the Texas Whiskey Festival. I think that would be a damn good one to go to. Some people teased me about it already, and I've been down there for other whiskey festivals in Texas, and it's a hell of a good time. And it's a lot of really good whiskey, so I'm tempted by that. I'm really tempted by that one. Colorado trip would be cool. Hell, I could go a lot of places. I could go Tennessee, Nashville. We could go see Mike in Kansas City. You have like 4 or 5 distilleries and what's inside of a few miles. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Whoever.
There you go. There's Fred.
Yeah.
Still America, May 14th.
Market.
When,
off.
when do we get to buy tickets, Fred?
Oh,
probably just
very
got
important.
That's true.
So we need to know that. That's important information, but that'll be great.
Ooh, and I heard there's parties at a lake distillery in Indiana. I don't know. There's an opening party. And Red's been pimping this place, so I'm thinking about going. Whenever they have their get up and go party. January 1st. So I gotta stay up all night. New Year's Eve. There's the reason to stay up, folks. If you're having problems and wanting to go to sleep, that's the reason to stay up.
But when the ball drops, the tickets drop. So. Jolie, Old Homestead. Yeah. That will be a lot of fun. We'll have Jolie. We need to have you on to talk about Old Homestead soon.
Yep.
And we can talk about some of the lame music you listen to too.
Your special boy band episode.
Oh man.
That was actually whiskey moment that got me this year that was music involved is when Kelly pulled rank on us and asked us to name the Wu-Tang Clan, and I couldn't remember all of them, and I fucking felt terrible. Like biggest ass.
She's like, "Can you name all 9?" It's like
9.
I didn't know that there was 9.
I did.
But okay.
I forgot about 2 of them, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And I just stopped, and she had me on that. So there's a whiskey moment, music moment that had me. I feel bad about it.
We've got a show we recorded a couple weeks ago. It's going to come out, I guess, in 2 weeks, where these 3 guys with tons of street cred.
Yeah.
Talk about 90s rap and hip hop.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. 3 straight white guys from Kentucky. That's what you want to hear. Yeah.
I kind of do. I want to see where this goes.
Okay. Spoiler alert. My street cred comes from the fact that Rump Shaker was my ringtone at one point. So I got that going for me, which is nice. Mike, what do you have you're looking forward to for 2022? Besides seeing me sing Rump Shaker at karaoke.
Well, I mean, actually, that's my new number 1 right there.
Let's just shout out the list, man.
So, I mean, I don't know how that's going to get any better than that. I'm looking forward to talking with more people in the whiskey industry. But I'm really excited to go out and see concerts again because I just have not been able to do it. And I already have tickets purchased for 2 concerts. So I'm hoping I can add to that list throughout the year, and especially as more stuff comes around. And honestly, I'm hoping to spend more time trying to discover some music on my own, try to go down my own rabbit holes instead of some especially YouTube. It's weird if you start listening to music and then some very odd places it takes you don't really make sense. Not like Spotify does, but anyway, just trying to find some, because there's been some really good music this year, new stuff that came out that I really enjoyed, and I like to go down that road more.
Speaking of concerts, Tool, drop your prices, please.
Yeah.
They got to bail out their drummer first.
Yeah, no, apparently. Jackass.
Yeah. Okay. Another concert. Primus is playing here in Louisville, and I think it's May 30th or something. So everybody come. It's all 4 seats, all general admission. Everybody come. We'll do some pre-gaming in the parking lot, and then we'll go see that show. But Fred also added this: driving tickets through New Year's Eve. This is the Blues Brothers marketing, and I really, really respect that.
He's got a full tank of gas, a half a pack of cigarettes.
That's right.
I gotta find them now. I'll be waiting on Main Street.
Ben, anything for 2022 for you?
I just want to see Tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, more live concerts because I kind of ended the last quarter of this year seeing some good shows. The last half of this year, really, a couple of good, the Railbird Fest, some great bands there. Saw some new to me that I was impressed with, and then that Collective Soul Tonic Better Than Ezra thing just kind of blew me away. And maybe it's just been the absence of live music, but especially Collective Soul, how tight they were and just how well they played. Damn it, Alan.
You can't look at your phone.
Keep your tool to yourself, Alan. Anyway, so yeah,
That's what she said.
more live concerts. So yeah, there's a few on my wish list there. Tool obviously being one of them. But Jolie mentioned Joe Bonamassa. That'd be a great show.
Yeah.
She saw him recently. That'd be a great one to catch. I'd love to see Tedeschi Trucks at some point. And then Gary Clark Jr. He was recently, I think he's still on tour. He was recently in South Carolina the week that I happened to move up here, so I didn't get to catch him. But that's a show that I'm dying to see because,
That's good. Yeah, I mean, everything these guys said as far as music goes. I've got some tickets to see Jason Isbell. Will be the first time I actually see a show of him. Steve Vai, we got tickets to see him as well.
Nice.
Look forward to that here in Louisville. I'll do my first actual festival this year. We've got tickets to go to Bonnaroo.
Oh.
So going to do the whole camping experience, and hopefully that lineup will be dropped in the next couple of weeks here. Look forward to that. As far as whiskey goes, I need to make a trip to Stumpy's, and I need to make a trip out to Spirits of French Lick. So if we can ever find a day that we're all off together, we'll probably go and do that at some point this year. But really just, looking forward to, like Jolie said, the moments. Whether that's a parking lot pour or a distillery tour or pregame and a concert, it's more about the relationships this year than it ever has been. So I'm looking forward to doing some more of that.
Hey, if you do Stumpy's, let me know. I'll meet you.
I will.
Yeah. That's kind of off the halfway point, Mike. So
It is.
yeah, and I owe you lunch, I think.
Yeah.
Mike and I, another whiskey moment from last year. Mike and I met one day in Columbia, Illinois, the bustling metropolis that it is, and we were going to meet Adam at Stumpy's, and he was going to show us around and stuff. And we ended up we're trying to find a place to eat, and places were shut down because of COVID, and dining rooms were shut down because of COVID. So we ended up going through the Burger King drive-through. So that was not great.
Did you get a Whopper?
I think I got a chicken sandwich.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still no.
So anyway, I'm looking forward to what's that?
Nothing. I'm like, let you finish you saying. I saw something. I should mute myself right now.
No, you're good.
I just saw Fred's thing. We talked about when they get their gin room done, kind of going there and doing the gin class for the weekend where you all get your own still and get to produce what you want. So,
well,
I think there's like 16 stills in the little laboratory. I can eat up weekends. I got them planned. I gotta tell work I need off on most weekends in the summer.
when are you coming back down here? That's the question.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea. It's going to be a couple months before I get down there. That's why I was hoping to talk you up here. That's why. So
Well, we'll be up there in May. Get
true.
Fred in the car with you. You guys can tandem drive, and you'll be here in no time. He's got an old Chevy that with speakers.
It does with speakers, and I have some gas money.
You can listen to both kinds of music, country and western.
Get beer bottles thrown at us from behind the cage.
At some point, I'll have a movie reference that's not 40 years old. I can't promise when. Maybe that's a goal for 2022.
It's because it's a good movie. That's why.
I think there's some really cool stuff ahead. I think that we talked about Stumpy's, and Adam's now got that new still going. So it'll be fun to see what he does with that. The things that Ben's told us about that's going on at Ranger Creek, I'm really excited about all of that. Can't wait to get up to Distill America. That just sounds like such a great time. And, but the thing is there are lots of things ahead that we have no idea. You know, there are going to be whiskeys that we've never heard of, like the things that we tried tonight, who you've never had before. You tried them this year, and it's something that you fell in love with. There are friendships that you'll make that you may even know who the person is right now. But those things are laying in wait for us in 2022, and so those are things that I'm excited about. So it'll be fun.
All right. Okay. Did you see Malcolm's comment? Going to a blues festival would be cool. I'd be down for that.
Cheers, Malcolm.
Cheers to Malcolm.
Oh man,
Malcolm, the sage of the whiskey tribe.
Malcolm, if you're gonna do it right, man.
Yeah,
Do it right. So, hang on. There will be single ones.
Oh,
Ooh,
Let's hope so.
dropping a little scoop.
Is
they're on the uptick of getting like really good quality. I mean, there's some fantastic things out there. So, or is he just saying I have some stuff I'm going to drop? Is he trying to
I don't know. Is this breaking news?
foreshadowing? Don't tease people, Bishop. It's just rude.
Yeah, you mentioned Gold Beaver. We recorded the show a couple weeks ago with Chris Koenig. We got to try their rice whiskey and their rice bourbon, and man, it's just
Special.
it is very fantastic.
And
he was a lot of fun to talk to. He's a big music guy too. So that show I think will be out on the 12th, no, the 19th of January. So. You need to remember to do this. Tell them what to do, Mike.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell notification. Find out when new episodes are coming out. All that.
Mike's soul worth and value.
That's right.
All right. So I know that nobody likes these kind of shows like that I'm about to describe. You know, these Whiskey of the Year shows. People hate those. At least that's a lot I saw on social media. But we did our Whiskey of the Year show a couple weeks ago, and I know that my whiskey did. You guys did a show last week where you talked about your categories. So you talked about what you're going to talk about.
Basically,
it was like Seinfeld. Yeah.
We're testing out different
about nothing. Which those are the best. So, when are you guys doing your Whiskey of the Year show?
we need to have a show to discuss that.
I can bring up a calendar here.
I thought we'd do it Monday.
This coming Monday?
I don't know.
Holy shit.
I've got my stuff figured out.
I need a little more time. I mean, if we can do it, that's a rush. I'll do it. But we need to make we don't want to have like little category sign and stuff. Are you already on that? Are you advanced? Have you been?
I'm not done yet, but we could do them. We could do next Monday, not this Monday, next Monday. So the 10th, is that right?
The 10th. Yeah, let's do it the
Yeah.
10th.
Yeah.
All right,
We'll be
that works.
competing with the national championship game on the 10th. But
I think we did that last year, and you know what? We won because
We did.
because there were distributors that wanted to use our awards in their sales standees. So eat
nice.
that.
Nice.
Us and Fred Minnick. I'm not
I do
shitting.
have.
I'm not
I
shitting.
have an.
you.
I have an ascot.
Yeah. Well,
Well, you got the hat. You got the hat. You don't need an ascot.
I got that. I got the ascot too.
Oh, do you?
we've
I'm
seen
double.
his
I'm
ass.
double dipping,
Mike,
Kevin.
I know you do.
I just got to get a smoking jacket too.
He's
It'd be.
got one in a porta potty too.
That's right.
I'm just waiting for that middle finger, Mike.
Nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. It was too traumatizing for me. I don't really.
Too soon. Oh, too soon.
So tell everybody, I'm sure everybody here knows, but just in case they don't, Patrick, tell everybody where they can find your show and when it's on and what you do.
All right. On Monday nights, we usually have a live show. It's called An Evening With, where we'll have someone from the industry on, that is the whiskey industry. And we'll talk about what they do at their distillery or their facet, however they're involved in the industry, to help bring people a little bit closer understanding to what's going on. Now, typically we focus on craft whiskey, which is 90% of the time, because they don't get a lot of focus out in the real world. I mean, or in the review world. Let's be honest. My biggest problem was, oh my God, the next version of Ezra Brooks or Jack Daniel's number 7 came out, and you see 70 other, I didn't even know there were that many reviewers when I started, 70,000 other reviewers of Jack Daniel's number 7 from this year. And you're like, wow, like that's not, I got sick of seeing the same shit over and over and over again. And so I wanted to shine a light on people who were actually creating newer, unique products and how they were doing it. So that's the culmination of the reviews coming into Monday night and Evening With, and we bring these two fine folks along with us, Wonder Mike and Benji, the traveling little distiller.
The whiskey gypsy.
The whiskey gypsy. Benji, the whiskey
Like a
gypsy.
snake oil salesman or something.
On to talk about what's going on unique, because I get sick of Yellow Dent number 5. If it's not a weird corn or grain right now, I'm almost half disinterested, to be honest with you. If there's some type of sleeper thing going on the inside, I don't want to say I'm not impressed, but it's something we look for, and it's also something we look for is grain forward whiskey rather than, I'd say, a little bit more barrel forward. And that's what you get with a lot of craft whiskey, is you want to get the actual flavors coming across before the barrel lays in and is the heavy imparting factor. So that's what we do. Join us Monday night. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Will be better next year.
Well, there's been a lot of change going on in the channel. So
yes, there's been.
I was going to say, you opened up with saying we usually have a live show An Evening With. And I'm like, yeah, we've had for the last month An Evening With these 3 dolts.
Yes. The end of this year has been a little shaky for some of us. So we changed formats, but next year we're going to be heading back into our regular format and picking things back up. But life sometimes has a way of fucking with you.
Well, you just take it a step at a time and do what you can do. And you had a lot going on. Ben's obviously had a lot going on. There's good with the bad.
It's all good. It's just getting set up for the future. So We have plans now. Now we can get a new logo. We can actually have shirts now that Ben has a new home.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do a little toast here. So I think everybody's got a little champagne thing. Christy, come on over here. And
Christy gets to be involved finally.
yeah,
Hi.
Whoa, hey,
let's see.
don't do that.
Wow, that was disappointing, man.
I
That
came off with it.
no, this is I've had these little ones before where it's
Premature.
a cork, actually a cork. These little screw top
Yeah.
things. Man, what a ripoff.
Only the best for you, Clark.
$3 back.
All right, so guys, you got yours ready?
I have sparkling whiskey.
That works. That works.
Yeah.
Hey, to a lot of fun times in 2021, to more fun times in 2022, with great whiskey, better friends. Cheers, love, free bird.
Champagne.
Cheers.
Mm.
There's a reason I drink whiskey and not shake, right? Anyway,
Lovely.
all right, guys. Anything you want to share before we sign off for the night?
I'd say I'm grateful for the 6 or 7 people that watch us religiously, and just honestly, some of the nicest people that we've never met in person, but we've met, and then those we've been lucky enough to meet in person. It's been a lot of fun. This year's been a bigger year for meeting people, in spite of everything that's going on. And hopefully next year we'll get to meet more people in person, and hang out and share some spirits together.
I want to thank the Ewalds because they stopped by my work and allowed me to tailgate and drink whiskey while I was there. my boss came out and didn't even ask. I just offered her some. So another little great whiskey moment. So I want to thank them for that. And I'll second everything Mike said to speed up time. So, and thanks for having us on the show. I want to come back when you guys talk soundtracks.
Soundtracks. All right.
Soundtracks.
Yeah.
That was
Little Mermaid.
That'll definitely
Yeah.
happen.
I worked in a video store, man. So I was gonna say there's some soundtracks that are actually pretty damn amazing.
I will say this, and maybe this Alan might like this. So we talked about the first album that we ever owned, and mine was Michael Jackson's Thriller. My number 2 was the Ghostbusters soundtrack.
Ooh.
Originally. So
Thief, Ray Parker Jr.
there you go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hey, we're talking about folks that are faithful in the shows and stuff, and I know that everybody loves Emily, and she is. She's very great to leave comments, and obviously she's very active in the chat with you guys. So thank you very much, Emily. You're a wonderful lady. We really appreciate you. But I do appreciate you guys being on. I know you gave up doing your show on Monday and chose to be here tonight, so I appreciate that. And we'll do this again sometime, I hope. And I think we've got some really fun shows coming up to start the year. I think we've had a good time recording those. And one of the things that we're going to do during the year is a thing we're going to call New Whiskey, New Music. That's a very creative title, I know. Game changer.
Green Trust got involved on that one.
Yeah, well, our marketing budget is unlimited.
Yeah.
But we're going to try to bring out in these shows some of the new music that we're listening to, some of the things that we think that we obviously enjoy, and hopefully it'll be some stuff that you'll be interested in, and do the same thing on the whiskey side. So we'll probably do that a handful of times during the course of the year. And maybe we'll have some guests on to talk about it as well. So I think that'll be fun. One more time, Mike.
He's gonna get back in.
You have to pay him after too.
What?
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the bell, all the other stuff.
That was
Enthusiasm in the read.
Okay, but honestly, and I'll say this, and this isn't just a shameless plug. Buy Drew's album. I have to say, Drew, as somebody who listens to and loves John Hyatt, John Prine, and singer songwriters, you got some damn good writing there, man. And that song Angel, there's a couple lines on there where it does remind me of that, where one of my favorite things about John Prine is you can take half of a sentence of one of his songs and it's an entire novel. And you got some of that on that Angel. That's pretty damn good.
Thank you.
That's
brother.
good stuff. So I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of it.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
come on down, January 15th.
Yep. Pack it out. We're having fun.
You got a place to stay. So, all right. So on that note, thanks everybody that's been watching tonight. We really appreciate it. The chat's been awesome. We broke some news about Distill America. We broke some news about apparently some single malts, real vague thing there. But, we've had some good stuff. And we really do appreciate everybody that's participating tonight, and especially Pat and Mike for joining us. And really appreciate these two guys as well. It's been a lot of fun in this little bourbon turntable thing going. And I think we've got some great things going in the future. So with that, we will wish everyone a good evening. Happy holiday.
Happy New Year.
And Merry New Year!
Merry New Year!